the equation of a curve y equals to x plus cos 2x. Find the x coordinates of the stationary points of the curve for which x is between 0 to pi, and determine the nature of each of these stationary points. Okay, first thing, y is given as x plus cos 2x. Okay, to find the stationary point we need to differentiate, so find dy over dx. Dy over dx is differentiating x gives us 1, and differentiating cos 2x is negative sine 2x and multiply by 2. Okay, so this is same as 1 minus 2 sine 2x, and to find the stationary point we have to make the dy dx equals to 0. Okay, because at stationary point the gradient equals to 0, so therefore 1 minus 2 sine 2x equals to 0, and find what is the x coordinate. So negative 2 sine 2x equals to negative 1, sine 2x equals to half, and 2x equals to inverse sine half. Inverse sine half, you have positive first quadrant and positive second quadrant. Okay, first quadrant and second quadrant, so therefore 2x equals to first quadrant we have sine 30 degrees, which is pi over 6, and then second quadrant we have 150, which is 5 pi over 6, and third quadrant is negative, fourth quadrant is negative, and when you go back to the first quadrant again, so that's plus 2 pi, which will give me 2 pi plus 1 over 6, which is 12 plus 1, 13 pi over 6. Okay, but if you look at it, your x value is between 0 to pi, so you don't have to go anything beyond that. Therefore x equals to pi over 6, and 6 times by 2, which is 12, and 5 pi over 12 equals to 13 pi over 12. Now which of this will be within pi to 0 to pi? Okay, so if I take x equals to 5 pi over 12 and sub this inside this value, I will get I should get half, so therefore this is pi over 6 is, okay, let's use calculator. So pi over 12, if I sub this inside I'll get pi over 6, so that's sine 30, which is half. Okay, that's fine. 5 pi over 12, if I sub that inside, so that should be 5 pi over 6, which is 150, but 13 pi, it's going back to 390, but that's more than half, more than pi, so I think I can discard this value. Okay, I can discard this value. So two values that I have is pi over 12 and 5 pi over 12 only. Okay, now once you got that, determine the nature of each of the stationary points. So before that, since I have two x coordinate, I want to find what are the corresponding y coordinate. So y equals to x plus cos 2x, so therefore when x equals to pi over 12, y equals to pi over 12 plus cos 2 pi over 12, which is pi over 12 plus, okay, that's pi over 6. Pi over 6 is cos 30. Cos 30 is 3 over 2. Okay, which I can simplify to, that's 2 times 6 times 6. So that should be pi over 12 plus 6 3 over 12. Okay, 6 3 over 12. Okay, so that's my first coordinate, which is pi over 12 and pi plus 6 3 over 12. And my second coordinate is when x equals to 5 pi over 12, which is y equals to 5 pi over 12 plus cos 2 times by 5 pi over 12, and this is 5 pi over 12 plus that's cos, what's that, 5 pi over 6, which is 5 pi over 12. 5 pi over 6 is 150, cos 150 is negative 3 over 2, which I can simplify to 5 pi minus, that's times 2, no, times 6 times 6, so 6 3 over 12. So therefore the second stationary point that I have is 5 pi over 12, 5 pi minus 6 pi, 6 3 over 12. Okay, so I have two stationary points. Now I have to determine whether it's a max or minimum point. To find whether it's max or minimum point, we double differentiate. Okay, we already have y equals to 1 minus 2 sine 2x, sorry, divided over dx. Okay, dy over dx. So to find this second derivative, d2y over dx square, which is 0, and that's negative 2. I take that out. Okay, differentiate sign, we have negative cos, no, positive, yeah, it's positive cos, right? No, differentiate cos is negative, yeah, positive cos. So cos 2x, then times by 2, then you have negative 4 cos 2x. Okay, so now I'm going to take two values, which is pi over 12, and sub that inside. So when I sub that inside, it's negative 4 times by cos times by 2 times by pi over 12, which is negative 4 cos pi over 6, and this is negative 4 cos pi over 6 is 3 over 2, so 3 over 2, which is a negative value. Okay, so 3 over 2, so 180 is cos 30, yeah, so 3 over 2, it's a negative value. If it's a negative value, therefore this point is a maximum point. Okay, so which point they're talking about? They're talking about when pi, when x equals to pi over 12 and y equals to pi plus 6 3 over 12 is a maximum point. Okay, now let's do the next one. The next coordinate that I have, d2y over dx square equals to negative 4 cos 2x, negative 4 cos 2x. This time we sub 5 pi over 12, so it will give us negative 4 times by cos 2 times by 5 times by pi over 12, and this is negative 4, so that's cos 5 pi over 12, which is negative 4 times by negative 3 over 2, because 5 pi over 6, not 12 over 6, 5 pi over 6, there's a 6, is 150, and cos 150 is in the second quadrant, which will give me a negative value, so that's negative, negative becomes positive, so 2 3, so it's a positive value. If it's a positive value, then this is a minimum point. Therefore the coordinate when pi x equals to 5 pi over 12, y equals to 5 pi minus 6 3 over 12 is a maximum, sorry, minimum, it's a minimum point. Okay, so 7 marks for this. Make sure you prove it with clear working, otherwise you won't get the full mark. Okay.